Good morning, broadcasters. 360 seconds news and commentary for broadcast professionals is on the air. I'm Maria Kolodova from TKT. Let's discuss the latest technological news with our respected experts, Philip Grossman and Ann Seidler. Don't forget to give the program a like. Marshall introduces the CV630 PTZ camera, 30 times optical zoom powerhouse with 4K UHD resolution, advanced NDI HX2 technology, and multiple outputs, which is perfect for diverse professional, AV, and broadcast applications. Here's David Mikas from IT Systems Strauss HMBH on the production of Marshall cameras. All right, looks like we're having some technical difficulties, so I'll throw it over to Mary. I know you had some questions about it for Philip.
Well, I do. We're seeing a lot of different companies get into these PTZ cameras. What do you think makes this different? Anything that you're seeing that's unique?
So I don't know if I'd say there's anything unique in this one. The fact that they've included NDI, which seems to be pretty standard, it's got HDMI, it's got SDI. I think we're seeing more and more of this because we're seeing remote productions become something practical, for lack of a better term, where in the past to do a remote production was very difficult. We were now able to get the signals back. Now that we're able to get the signals back, maybe we don't need all the camera people. And I also think we're seeing more complexity, people trying to step up the game in terms of what they're trying to produce, which requires more cameras, which would require more camera operators, and that tends to become expensive. So it's just, I think this is another player in the market. It's good to see more players in the market. You have more opportunities and options to choose from, and hopefully it'll push other manufacturers to do sort of similar, doing it the UHD and adding the NDI. I'd like to see, JPEG XS or 2110 included, but those will come eventually.
But that NDI is just, I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, it just simplifies it and makes it pretty much accessible to anybody without the requirement of a very, very expensive set of networking infrastructure.
All right, now moving on to Blackmagic. The Blackmagic Cinema camera 6K features a full-frame 6K sensor, 13 stops dynamic range, L-mount lens compatibility, and dual native ISO up to 25,000, offering unparalleled image quality and low light performance. So, Philip, can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so it's interesting. Blackmagic's really putting a lot of emphasis on camera development. They're really coming out with some interesting cameras. I questioned the selection of the Leica L mount as the standard mount, though my understanding is the L mount is sort of, I don't say it's like the EF mount, but it is adaptable for a lot of other lenses that are out there. EF, PL tends to be the standard lens mount that we see in the industry, or the B4 mount. So it's interesting. The dual ISO is really great. The camera format, the form factor of it is interesting. It's more of a 35 millimeter-ish style, maybe a little bit chunkier, so maybe it's a hybrid camera. But it's interesting to see them bringing more and more of these types of cameras, higher resolutions, 6K. We talked about it's 4K for 2K. You shoot 4K so you can reframe and move things around in 2K. I don't know if we're quite 6K for 4K. We still don't have a lot of 4K delivery, but it does give you that additional resolution to allow you to reframe and recrop as necessary, giving you a lot of flexibility.
All right, now we're moving on to Riedel. Riedel's RiMotion R10 replay solution expands its live production range, offering up to 8 multi-format camera inputs and 2 outputs in a 1 RU server, combining high channel density with affordability. So, Mary, I know that you had questions about that.
I do. So, Philip, I notice that we now have a few players in this area. First of all, is this really going to become a category? And are there features that you're not seeing that you wish you would be seeing in some of these different equipment?
Yeah, so it's interesting. This used to be the domain of EVS. They were the live instant replay people, and then Evertz came in with a lesser expensive JPEG or 2000 base solution, and now we see Riedel in this. And I think we're going to see more and more coming to the game. There's a couple things. One is that the things that I'd like to see in these types of systems. One, they're making them simpler to utilize. I mean, instant replay is a live sports primarily type application, and it takes lots of people to do it. I mean, one person can't run 6 of these machines because they've got to pick the scene, they've got to roll it back, make the crop, get it out to the producer, the director, the TD, so that it can be played back. The fact that these systems now allow a lot of different camera inputs makes it very interesting, making the systems more flexible. I think we're going to see AI start to creep into this. To take a lower frame rate camera, turn into a higher frame rate camera, as well as sort of starting to pick the shot. So it's interesting to see additional players in the market, and I wanted to see who else comes up with it. It's funny because it was actually started by Harris, and Harris is completely out of that market now. So I was gonna say it's. I hope to see some AI get involved here in helping pick the shot, so that it's sort of seeing the players and making this easier to do. We're going to see more processing happen, so it's coming.
All right, well, that's all the time that we have today. Many thanks to our experts, Philip and Mary, and don't forget to comment on the news that we've discussed. See you next Monday at the same time. Goodbye.
Bye.